cool to see somebody.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, I know. We already have people on with us. This is the Aaron Strayer Show. And we're already giggling and laughing. That's how today's going to go, people. So we're going to be talking about money. Everybody wants to know about money. Money. We polled our audience. We polled our tribe. And it overwhelmingly came forward. Aaron, we want to know about money. Everything to do about money. So today's March 1st. Green's in the house. We're going to be talking about money on the Aaron Strayer Show. This is where we uplift and leverage amazing female entrepreneurs that are out there doing things just a little bit different in the world, and we get to talk to you. We get to pull those things out from under the rug, talk about the pain points like money, all those hot topics like money, and we're going to talk about it over here. And today, oh my gosh, I'm super excited. Hey, if you guys are with us, say hi. Make sure you let us know that you're here and share this with your friends because everybody needs to know about money. So we have Teri Bach with us today. She's in the house. Teri Bach, we're going to talk about you for in front of you while you're standing right here. It's cool. I know.
Be nice.
Bring it on. Keep it coming. Teri Bach is a certified tapping into wealth coach. Okay, just let that land for a second. Super cool. So she is a wealth coach. She talks about money, how to earn it, how to make more of it, how to get more clients, how to sell more, how to be more confident about what you do, and how to have a little bit more motivation in and around the topic of money, wealth, abundance, all of that and what that means. We're going to talk in depth about that today, but that's not what you always did, is it, Teri?
No.
I know. This has only been the last 4, 5, 6 years that you
about 4 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what did you do prior to that? Because you're like me, you're just we're just starting out. What are you doing? What did you do prior to this? Because this is pretty amazing.
Well, I was a psychotherapist for about 27 years.
Yeah?
And so I worked a lot with limiting beliefs and, all the deep stuff with people. And I really believe that people don't need to suffer. That I've always used not technology. We were talking about that earlier. I've always used techniques, like the tapping that I use with now. I used EMDR as a therapist. So I really believe that let's get to the problem quickly. Let's get rid of it quickly. No 20 years of therapy. Let's just hone in and get there quickly and get rid of it.
So let me stop you there for a second, because I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
I'm sorry.
I can. And I did, and that was the only thing I knew, right?
Right.
That was the only thing I knew was to go to the therapist to take care of the problem, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm super excited that you're going to be talking about this and how to actually get to the root of the problem.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what that means. And so you specialize now specifically in, you dropped a couple terms in your little, what you do and what you're trained in that I didn't even know what they were. I'm like,
oh,
wait, I should be I should be writing that number down.
Okay.
But EFT,
yes.
Let's focus on that. What is that? What is that?
EFT is emotional freedom technique, or as I call it, tapping. And it is a technique that uses the meridians. We have these flows of energy in our body.
Yeah, they're much like our veins and our arteries and our nerves, right?
Yeah, so it's this energy that gets blocked. And so the tapping, because we're tapping on meridian points, will open up those flows of energy. The other way, so if you've ever gone to a acupuncturist or heard of one, what they're doing is they're putting needles in these meridian points. So if you're going for anxiety or for back pain or, whatever you're going there for, they're putting needles in these same kinds of meridian points. We're not using needles for tapping. We're just tapping using your fingertips and tapping on some of the meridian points. And so the other science behind why tapping works is that we have this part of the emotional brain that it's called the amygdala.
Yeah.
And it's like this little almond shaped, and it's in the emotional brain. And its whole purpose is really to keep us safe. And what happens, like in the way back, when we had wild animals running around, was it would warn you if you were in danger. It would send your body into this anxiety and stress and all of this kind of thing. Well, we don't have wild animals running around anymore for the most part. So, but it still is doing its job of keeping us safe. So we get, like, let's say you're doing public speaking, and a lot of people feel a lot of anxiety or stress or whatever when they have this coming up. If you simply tap on the anxiety before you go on stage or whatever, it sends signals to the amygdala that everything's safe. You can calm down now. And so it's really calming down that part of our brain that keeps us on high alert.
Interesting. So that fight or flight, that mode.
Exactly. Yes.
So I know some of the things that we talked about, and this whole month is about money, and that's like the hot topic that we're talking about, and that's your lane and your focus.
Right.
So we start our business and it's not going okay.
Right.
Hey, Teri. Hey, Teri. What's the problem? I got all these systems in place. I got all this help to help me. I got all of my emails set up. I got all my Facebook ads done. I got all of this stuff done, and nothing's working.
Well, I would invite you to work with me.
Right? I'm being the advocate here for the people, right? Or
so
even if you're in a corporate setting, right? And your job's not going as well as you were, or you're based on sales, right? Like you're based on productivity, and your paycheck is straight commission, right? Like you're in car sales, or you're in medical sales, or you're in whatever. If you work for Verizon, I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like your income is completely based on
your sales,
your productivity, and your sales,
right?
So, and that's not working out as well as I need it to be.
There's probably some limiting beliefs going on. There might be fear, there might be anxiety around success, around failure, around money. So by the time we're 6 years old, we've already downloaded everything that we have learned we've already learned all this stuff from our parents by the time we're 6 years old. And we've downloaded it into our system. All these emotions are kind of going through our nervous system. Our subconscious has absorbed all the stuff we learned by the time we're 6 years old, in general, around limiting beliefs, but also with money beliefs.
So everything that we, like, seriously, by the time we're 6, everything we think and know about money is already like,
well, predominantly. I'm sure we've learned things since then, but predominantly, most of our limiting beliefs around money, most of the emotions we have around money, the wiring we have around money has been downloaded into us by the time we're 6 years old. So what that means is, if people are in debt, they've been like predestined to have debt. Their wiring, their emotions around money at a young age have kind of allows them to manifest money that fits that programming. So if your parents had a lot of anxiety around money or a lot of fear around money, then you're going to download that into your whole system. And what better way to feel anxiety and fear around money than to be in debt, right? Yeah. So a lot of times, so you've seen people who get in debt, then they get out of debt, and then they get right back into debt. And, it's just a cycle because they're not changing the programming that got them into the debt in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the little, they put a Band-Aid on something.
Right. Yeah. So they're going to continually get in and out of debt until they do something about the programming.
Yeah. So how do we get to attack that programming that's happened and been instilled in us since we've been 6. Like, like,
yeah,
that's like a,
the
we
work,
can't go back to 6. Oh, we could, but.
Well, we do. Part of the program that I do, this Tapping into Wealth program that I do, is it's a lot of exercises, visualizations, and so what happens is I can take people through visualizations to get them back to when they were 6 years old. Because if I said to you, how did your parents talk about money when you were 6?
You wouldn't. Never did.
Yeah. And most people would say, I have not a clue, unless it was really bad, then you'd probably remember it. But so this visualization will get you past your conscious mind into the subconscious mind, where all this information is just sitting there. Mm-hmm. So we look at you when you're 6 years old. We look at what your parents are talking about and how they look and how you feel as that 6-year-old in the room. That's all the stuff that's been downloaded into you. And then we use the tapping to clear it.
Interesting.
So every session I work with clients is finding it through exercises or visualizations.
Yeah.
And it's very strategically kind of set up. And then we clear it. Every session we're doing the tapping too.
That's interesting. So these meridians, they're in, Julie, you're welcome. Thanks for jumping on with us. Hi, Megan. These meridians are in specific areas, and there's a series, like it's on purpose, like the order that you tap, or
there is a sequence.
I know a little bit.
Yeah.
Megan, she knows it really works.
Okay, good. So we have meridians throughout our whole body. And so if you're right-handed, you can tap on your right side or left side, or some people tap on both sides. It doesn't matter. The meridians on your right are the same as on your left. So what was your question?
was there an order? I guess I really want it. I mean, would you be willing to take us through like the series of like a little exercise? Would you be willing to do that?
Oh, I didn't have anything prepared, but I can certainly. Okay, let's see. Let's use that scenario I used about public speaking. I'll just do one round, just so you can see. And so let's say you're feeling a lot of anxiety. You're going to get up on stage. And I mean, I recommend doing this ahead of time, but then also right before you go on stage to bring that calmness to you again. Yeah. So I start with the eyebrow, and you use 2 or 3 fingers, doesn't matter. Really hard to mess this up. It's pretty user friendly. Yeah. I mean, I taught this to my mother, who's now 98, and she does it with me sometimes. So, so the first point I use is the eyebrow. It's right where your hair begins on your eyebrow. And then the second one is the side of the eye. Okay. Under the eye. And you kind of feel that bone under there. Yeah, it's hard to do when you have glasses on. And then under the nose. The next one is called the chin point, or under the mouth, and it's in the crevice right under your mouth.
Are there things that we should be talking?
Yeah, and I was just going to run you through this first. And then the collarbone is, you can kind of see where the bone is here, and you're just going to go down a little bit from there, about an inch or so under the collarbone.
I know, can you see it?
Yeah. And then the next one is kind of an odd, and I don't know if you can see it on the video, but it's under the arm. So for women, it's where your bra strap is, or bra on the side. Yeah, it's called side of, or under the arm. And then
not
the
in your pit, not in your pit.
No, about a hand's width under your pit. And then the last one is on top of your head. Oh. Now there are other points, and other people may use some of the other points, but that's the basic set of sequence for tapping. So for that scenario I gave, you might just tap, kind of imagine yourself going on stage, letting your whole body feel the anxiety. And you can simply say, all this anxiety, all this anxiety. I'm really scared to get up on that stage. I'm scared to death. People are going to laugh at me. I'm going to screw it up. All this anxiety.
Interesting.
All this anxiety. I mean, that was pretty basic, but
we could do it with all kind of bills.
Well, you want to go with the feeling first, probably, if you're paying bills, you know, and anxiety's coming up. And then the thing I didn't mention is you want to kind of look at the number of intensity. Like if you're getting on stage, you might be at an 8 or 9 or 10 on a scale of 0 to 10. Sure. So you keep tapping on it until you can bring that down to a 0 or a 1.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you're going to know, you're going to feel the shift.
That's interesting. So I know one of the things that you really focus on is, so, okay, let me go back to that for a second. So you think that that could be multiple cycles? You
mean going
through that
rounds? Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Rounds. Until that anxiety comes down. Okay. So you, in your program, you focus mainly on the wealth and coaching people how to control their anxiety about not having enough clients, or what they do with their success when they have it, or their beliefs about money. I mean, we kind of covered that a little bit, that it stems from, you know, way back prior to when you were 6 years old. Go ahead.
most of what I do is not controlling it so much as helping them find out what it is. And so I'm doing a lot of, you know, kind of deep diving into it. And so we're doing, like, one of the first session that I do with people is called the money map, where you're actually looking at the 5 different kinds of money, because there are 5, you know, savings, debt, income goals, and toxic money, because they all have different energy to them. They all have different programming and wiring attached to them. So we want to look at each one of those separately. And so the money map is really looking at the amounts of money you have in each of those and noticing, okay, what's coming up for you right now? What are the thoughts that are coming up? What's the emotion when you look at that amount of money? And then there's usually another aspect, can be a trauma. There might be an event in the past that's attached to that type of money in particular. So we're looking at all of that. So the money map is really an overview of what's going on in people's money.
Interesting.
And it's really enlightening for people to look at this, because when I talk about programming, people sometimes kind of roll their eyes and think, yeah. But when you really have it down on paper and you're looking at your own experience of doing this, it's pretty powerful.
That's really interesting, because I know there's some money people on here with us, which is, I'm curious, and you guys know who you are, what your thoughts are on that, with the 5 different areas of, and the different energies that go with each one of those aspects of money. And you know, if you stop and think about it, okay, well, I know about my debt, and I know about my savings, and I know about my income, and I know about, you know what I mean? But I don't necessarily separate them. Right? Like it's all just,
exactly.
It's all just money. I don't necessarily, in my head, I don't necessarily separate those. So that's interesting when you say that you take them apart and you map them, and you attach the different feelings and emotions, and you know, like where are you starting to hurt? Like, is it your lower back, or is it your left knee, or is it your gut? You know, where are you hurt?
Well, so like savings is about, if you've had a lot of loss in your life, or a lot of disappointment, a lot of that kind of thing, that really gets wired into your savings account until you really clear all the emotions and all the trauma piece of that loss.
Interesting.
And debt is really about forgiveness. It's about, if you've not forgiven yourself, or you haven't forgiven somebody else about a situation in your life, and you're still being kind of controlled by it, that's going to show up in your debt.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So I know that you have, we're kind of coming down on our time here, Teri. I want to be just super mindful of your time, my time, our people's time. This is super interesting to me, especially when you get so focused down on, you know, a topic, you know, that you're actually focusing on to do the tapping in and around, right? I mean, it's just so cool. And then that's your specialty. Woo! Because we're talking about the money. I am super interested in this, and I know that you have some stuff coming up that you're really excited about. Let's talk about that, because I know that we talked off camera for a little bit that you have a webinar coming up.
I do. Okay. It's called 3 Reasons You Aren't Earning More Money, because we do have set points in each of the types of money. So you can't earn above your set point with money. And that set point was set at a very young age. So I talk about the 3 reasons you aren't earning more money. And so this webinar it's free and it's experiential. So we are going to do some exercises. And that is Friday, March 23rd at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific.
Cool.
And
like you got links that you can drop. Like I don't know.
I will.
I think if that's something that you guys are interested in, and the link's in here, like by all means, clear your calendar off for that on a Friday.
I would love to have you on. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That sounds like it's right. And you said it's going to be on a Friday?
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday?
March 23rd. Yes.
So cool. What else? Yes. Like if people wanted to find you, follow you, reach out to you, figure out how you work, get on your calendar, how do they find you?
I am at untappedpotentialcoaching.com. And I have you can sign up for a free clarity session if you're interested. It's about 45 minutes. And I just kind of look at where you are right now, where you want to be in a year from now. And then we together find out what's blocking you. You know, what area might be blocking you? Because the work that I do really helps people, you know, the focus is money. But what happens is people end up a lot more clear on their business and their lives. Sometimes people want more balance in their lives. And it also, I totally forgot what I was just going to say. It brings a confidence to the women in particular who I work with, because we're clearing limiting beliefs. So you end up with a confidence and at a higher level than you've ever been before.
Yeah. And I think for all of us business women that are out there, us entrepreneurs, our mompreneurs, the solopreneurs, the people out there doing all, you know, we do all the things, you know,
right.
we are super women, just give us our props right now. Right. But we do it to ourselves though, too. We feel like we have to undertake and take on all of those things so that they're done. Right.
Yes.
You know, and therefore that I feel that for me, that my confidence in other areas, you know, is lacking because I don't have enough time to spend on that, or because I don't give it my full attention, or because I need some help in that area, right?
Yeah. And, you know, I do some work also if needed, you know, on perfectionism, because we all have some of that, some more than others. And it really holds us back. And, and some people have a harder time being seen, being visible, being really out there, which you know, as we build our businesses, we have to be able to be out there more.
For sure. Yeah. So it's not like working in and around the money part of it, the wealth means more than just financial.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Where you're covering all, it's just like abundance. Abundance means more than just monetary.
Exactly.
You know, it's all the things that form us and make us who we are and how we excel and be better influencers and empowering other people too.
Right.
So anyway, Interesting. Awesome. So you're going to drop your links in here when
I
you're
will.
done, Teri?
I will.
awesome. We've been talking to Teri Bach today, people. I really, really appreciate you being on live with us today, Teri. I love, like, I feel like we could, like, super dive deep, like, get, like, a whole hour going here on this stuff. I'm gonna jump in your webinar for sure. That's on my calendar. I already got Fridays cleared off, so I can do that. So
good. Love to have you there.
I've super enjoyed you being on the show. You guys, my name's Erin Strayer. This is the Erin Strayer Show. This is where we uplift and leverage other amazing female entrepreneurs out there in the world doing amazing things. We talk about the hot topics and the pain points, and we bring them forward. And again, the month of March is all about money. So join us right back here next time. Thanks for your time today, people. We'll see you soon.